My name is Mickey Martin, and I have a story to share. It was a cool, brisk evening on November 15th, 1996. A 17-year-old boy and his cousin and best friend were reenacting a scene from New York Undercover, a popular crime show at the time. The cousin had brought over a gun that he thought was unloaded, and he placed the gun behind the 17-year-old's head. He proceeded to pull the trigger. Pow! Through media or personally, we have all been affected by gun violence in the vein of accidental shootings, domestic violence, homicides, suicides, school shootings, and mass shootings. By the way, that 17-year-old that I spoke of was my absolute best friend and brother, Byland Javario Williams. Sadly, my experience is not isolated. Everytown research and policy states that 58% of adults or someone they care for will experience gun violence in their lifetime. I was just 20 years old at the time. You see, gun violence extinguishes our right to live, and we must confront this issue now to claim this right. Today, while discussing the urgent need for gun reform, we will specifically address age restrictions, universal background checks, and we will propose solutions that will effectively limit the number of deaths due to gun violence. Let us work together to attack this widespread plague. Gun violence persists in the U.S. because legislation targeted toward regulating firearms most often fails to pass into law. Every single U.S. state has been affected as a result. Here is a map by gunviolence.org. It shows that 26,457 deaths have taken place just this year. By the time this day ends, we can add about 106 more deaths, says advocacy group teamenough.org. Now I will share some startling statistics from everytownresearch.org. 6 out of 10 gun deaths are suicide, and this rate is about 12 times that of other high-income countries. 4 out of 10 deaths are homicides, and this rate is about 26 times that of other high-end countries. On average, 70 women in the U.S. are killed with a gun by an intimate partner. It is important to note that men also fall victim to domestic violence. Now that we've discussed prevalence and a major cause of gun violence in the U.S., let's discuss some solutions. Most of us are proud to be Americans, and we place value on the rights we've been afforded. We must enact laws now to protect our right to live. First, research shows that secure storage practices plays a vital role in reducing the risk of gun violence. Storing firearms securely protects children and adults by preventing unintentional shootings and gun suicides. Secondly, we must raise the age to purchase firearms. Laws need to align with science, and science states the rational part of our brains are not fully developed until around age 25. Thirdly, it's imperative that we conduct background checks, both criminal and psychiatric, on all gun sales. Since launching in 1998, more than 300 background checks have led to more than 1.5 million denials. Adding mental health assessments will aid in increasing the need for additional denials. Now that we have discussed some solutions, let us talk about how they will be implemented. Gun violence must swiftly be confronted on a federal level. Think about it. If it were your brother in that room, wouldn't you be grateful that there was laws that were in place that could have prevented that from happening? So, the federal government will provide each gun owner with access to a lockbox for a minimal fee. The federal government will raise the age to purchase guns to 25 to reflect the age of brain maturity. The federal government will require criminal background checks and mental health assessments. These will be mandatory prerequisites for gun ownership. Any gun violence infractions will result in hefty fines and possible jail time. These new and improved laws will dramatically curb gun violence in the U.S. If we tackle this problem, we will save lives. In this moment, no matter where you stand on the gun debate, we can all agree that effective laws that promote gun safety can and will save lives. We can wait no longer. So while we are fighting for our right to bear arms, we must fight 100 times harder for our right to live. Thank you. Where's Aaliyah? There she is. There we go.